Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have the answers, results, stats for the quiz on Can You Spot a Clone? So firstly, thank you very much to all the participants, everyone that took part and provided all their answers to me. I hope you enjoyed it. I've had a bit of fun playing this, so hopefully it's been good for you too. If you've not played it and you're a little bit confused about what's going on, click the link either in the cards or in the description to go and play the quiz first. Of course, the photos were deliberately not perfect. If I made the photos perfect, it would be probably quite a lot easier to tell. So yes, they were deliberately not ideal. So if you were a little bit frustrated about that, I'm sorry, but that was sort of part of the point. Also, there are a couple of comments about whether some of the things are really counting as clones. For example, heater cartridges and fans. They're both just off-the-shelf items. You could have bought them before anyone did any of these designs. They're just things that exist. Well, they're not natural, obviously. They were designed at some point, but the designs for hot ends, they don't design their own heater cartridge typically. They go to the kind of suppliers that supply heater cartridges and say, which one do I want? I want that one. So if a clone comes along and picks the same one, it's just another heater cartridge. Of course, through all of this, I'm not saying clones are good or we should try and make them the same or they should be better or anything like that. It was literally just a fun game. Don't try and read anything into what this was about or what I'm trying to imply. There was no implication. It's just a game. I was bored. I wanted to make a video about a quiz. Hopefully it was some fun for whoever decided to play. So I think that's quite enough waffle. Let's get on with going through the actual questions. Well, the answers more specifically. And you can see what you got right, what you got wrong, and also how many other people got those right or wrong. We'll skip over question 1 or 2, they were opinion based, and we'll go straight into question 3. This one was, of course, the heat break. So the one on the left was basically a PTFE lined version of the V6 heat break, and the one on the right was a genuine V6 heat break. I guess the way you could tell here is the one on the right had quite clearly been used a little bit more. It had the thermal compound on it, as well as that throat being significantly thinner, which is like indication that it was a higher quality because it's harder to machine like that. So of course, the correct answer here was left, and 77% of people got that correct. So well done to that 77%, and unfortunate to the rest of you. Question 4 was the two heaters. So the one on the left is a precision heater from E3D, and the one on the right is a clone 40-watt heater. So they could both be used in a V6 or Volcano hot end in reality. However, I said they were specifically for Volcano hot ends. It was not technically true, but either way, the clone was the one on the right, and the genuine one was the E3D precision heater on the left. This question was clearly a little bit more difficult, maybe as a result of me misspeaking, but I mean, who cares? It was only for fun. And 59% of people got that one correct. Question 5 turned out to be one of the most difficult questions, and I guess I can see why. There were two heaters here. One was a 30-watt heater, the other was a 40-watt heater. And in this case, they were both from E3D. The 30-watt one is the blue one on the left, while the red is the 40-watt, 24-volt one, such as you would have in your Prusa. Only 27% of people got this one right, so congratulations to you and commiserations to the rest of you. Moving on to question 6. This one was the silicone sock that goes around the hot end to prevent cooling and also filament sticking to the outside of your heat block. Now, this one was probably quite a challenging one, but in reality, most people got it right. I think probably because a lot of people have purchased these and you could sort of see a logo on one of them. So in this case, the one on the left was the clone in orange, and the one on the right was the genuine E3D V6 hot end sock. The one on the right, you could slightly see a logo on the very left-hand side of it, and I guess maybe quite a few people spotted that. And of course, E3D typically do their V6 socks in blue, so that made that one fairly easy. 82% of people got that one right. Well done to all of you. Unfortunate to the other 18%. So moving on to question 7, this one was probably my favourite. It was a little bit of a doozy, it was quite a difficult one, and the results did show that. Only 27% of people got this one right. So this of course is it's a kind of standard heatsink. It's not an E3D heatsink on the left or on the right. Both of these are clones. In fact, if I had shown you from the top, Again, the tops look slightly different, hence my choice of angle, so you couldn't see that. I mean, they were both clones. They don't really, in real life, they do look quite a lot different, but obviously by photo, it's quite a bit more difficult to tell. Also, when you don't have the genuine to compare against, it's obviously a lot more difficult. I think if I'd shown you a genuine and a clone in one picture, it would have been a bit more easy. But in this case, both were clones, so the answer was both. Moving on to question 8, this was the nozzles. So 2 small brass nozzles, fairly standard kind of thing. Fortunately, again, this one was quite a good question for most of you. 82% of you again got this right, so just the same as question 6. These were the 2 easiest questions, it turns out. I think again, because a lot of people have handled and looked at nozzles, it's a little bit easier to tell. People also commonly identified that E3D have the little dots on the side of the nozzle. I did try to orient them so you wouldn't be able to see the dots regardless, so no dots on either doesn't necessarily help you. Of course, with the dots, they're not all the way around anyway, so that wouldn't necessarily have helped perfectly. But yes, the one on the left was the genuine nozzle, and the one on the right was the clone. The one on the right was quite a bit damaged as well. I don't know if that helped people identify that one as the copy, but the one on the left is looking very pristine and remarkably well machined. Moving on to question 9, we have the 2 fans. So this is obviously one of those questions where, I mean, can a fan really be a clone? The fans, regardless of what hot end they're on, are all made in China, probably in the same factory or similar or nearby factories. Again, there were some clues here which may have led you to believe that one was a clone rather than the other, and the correct answer here was right. The one on the left was the genuine E3D V6 fan with the shroud attached, although obviously we weren't looking at that, and the one on the right was the clone. Having the 2 screws here being countersunk screws and something that's not even countersunk was maybe a bit of a giveaway. So again, a lot of people got that one right. 64% of people in fact got that one right, so well done to all of you, and unfortunate to the remaining 36%. Question 10 then was the feed tube with the small copper heatsink attached. Some of viewers of my recent videos might have been able to get this one. 55% of people actually got this one correct, which the correct answer was left. So these 2 heatsink feed tube arrangements, one is from the Mosquito and the other is from the Dragon. So the Slice Engineering Mosquito, patent pending, and the Dragon hot end from a number of platers, Faters, Triangle Labs, depending on where you get it. Well done to the 55% of you that got that one right, and unfortunate to the remaining 45%. So now that you've got all of your answers and you know how well you did, you might want to compare yourself to everyone else. So how did everyone do in general? Well, in terms of the most commonly picked answers, so in general, people were picking the correct left, right, both, or neither, although left was actually chosen a little bit too often, unfortunately, and neither was not chosen quite enough. So if we look at the overall points tally and how many people got different amounts of points, the most common scores were both 4 and 6 points, and 6 people got each of those. Above that, we had 1 person that scored 7 points and 1 person that scored 4 points, getting all of them correct. So well done to Eric, the first person and only person to get all of them correct between Wednesday and now. So well done to you. Sorry there's no prize, but congratulations anyway. Hope you had fun doing it. So let's make some conclusions then and observations about the data that we've picked up here. 100% of people said that it was either like maybe or possible to identify a clone. So a lot of you said, oh, it depends on this, it depends on that. And I took that to say, well, yes, then in some cases it would be possible. So the answer is yes. So we had 100% maybes or yeses to that, which means in some circumstances it would always be possible given the right tools and angles and time and that sort of thing. However, only 73% of you thought you would be actually able to tell in this scenario. So a good quarter of you thought that you wouldn't be able to do it. Interestingly, of those that said yes, your average score was 4.75, whereas the people that said no, their average score was 4.67. So there was very little in it between the people that thought they could and thought they couldn't. Their results were basically the same, regardless of whether they thought they were able to or not. So well done to all those who performed better than expected. On average, the whole group were confident in only 56% of their answers, despite the fact that 59% of answers were actually correct. So, I mean, really, your estimation of what you thought was correct or not correct was actually quite good. I think that's kind of telling by the results in the question results, where you had some very high scores and some very low scores. That gave you some level of certainty because it was either very obvious or you didn't really have a clue. So that's going to be it from me today on the How Do You Spot a Clone quiz. I've had quite a lot of fun doing this. Hopefully it's been fun for you. And well done to the 22% of you that participated. I think many of you did very excellent. And again, special congratulations to Eric for getting 100% of the answers correct. You really did remarkably well. And if you go and find Eric's answer in the comments, you'll see that a lot of his justifications for his answers are actually pretty spot on as well. So a very good job. If you want to have another set of questions, leave a like and comment down below that you'd like to do this again. I think it was quite fun. Hopefully it was fun for you too. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.